morning, traders. Welcome to the TMT Stock Market Strategy video for Tuesday, March 15th. Very quiet day in the markets. Actually, we had a big intermarket divergence yesterday. We had a lot of indicators that we look at TMT pointing in one direction. We had indices pointing in another direction, and then we had strength in the NASDAQ, which broke out of a beautiful daily bull flag, which I'll show you. So we had a lot of backing and forth, fighting for direction. Nothing really materialized, and it was the slowest day of the year. I did a little bit of work yesterday since Christmas of 2015. All right, so that's really a bad omen if you want to start trading for that day. Very quiet, very choppy session. Markets ended up going in one direction, rallying, but not without taking all the stops with it. So very bad day. But let's get into the charts. Take a look at the XLU. Here is that utility sector continually being bid up. Guys, I don't know. It's something that to me looks like there's something brewing behind the scenes here. We have gold actually starting to sell off. And I told you I like the gold and the GDX short. Actually, GDX short for that matter, more than gold. We had crude oil looking for a bid and did not get it. Down again this morning in the pre-market, down 78 cents, 2.1% lower. We have all of the indices now lower again. But I did a little bit of research on seasonal trends and quadruple witching this week. It is quadruple witching where futures expire, futures on option stock and stock options expire. Usually is a very big and bullish week. Next week turns out to be the opposite. Okay, so we're down a little bit now. Let's see if this creates some sort of a buying opportunity going into quadruple witching. But moving ahead, and you can see the XLU here, it's something that's really concerning to me where a lot of these safety haven sectors continually are being bid up. GLD, I mentioned we had a big area of resistance, and sure enough, we roll back down again. And I do like the GDX short versus the GLD. Have a lot of garbage stocks, if you will, stocks that have really virtually no balance sheet, really don't do much, are rallying hard. And that's a cue to say, well, we may have topped. Now, we've been up for 4 straight weeks in a row. Looks like the markets are getting a little tired. So we'll see what happens after this week is over. Take a look at the spiders. Inside day, you can see what I mean. Really no movement. Very, very quiet movement. When that happens, you got to try to stay away, or at least, you know, figure out a strategy if you're going to scalp. And if that's not your strategy, then really it's not even worth trading for the day. You can see that we're getting elevated here. We're starting to move up higher into this area of overbought. McClellan oscillator is reading about 54, 55 now from an overbought state of 104. So plenty of room now if we wanted to run back to the upside. But a consolidation above these key areas of support, which was resistance, is going to help to propel the market into these areas. But remember, I do feel that there's still a lot of traders and investors short up in this area when they were thinking that markets were going to run higher, but we did this instead. So we need to really pay attention for the next coming days to see what's going to happen. Transports and a beautiful uptrend channel, a well-defined, real tight channel, but we're coming into a heavy resistance of the 200-day moving average, and of course this area here, which is the horizontal area of resistance, and I think that's going to kind of at least put a damper on at least to move higher. But remember, if the transports can break up and kind of back test this area and move higher, that's going to propel the markets as well and help the markets move higher. But we are coming into resistance. This is our leader, so we need to pay attention to what's going on with the transports today. IWM, secondary leader, did really well. Again, this is a good gauge of risk here. And when I mentioned yesterday that the Russell 2000 caught another bid, but you can see we had an inside day. Let me get rid of that. You can see that little doji within the big engulfing candle, so really didn't go anywhere. And again, a lot of these small cap stocks, which have virtually no balance sheet, are really ripping to the upside, which tells me we're about to see at least the end of a move. I'm not saying today, tomorrow, even this week, but I think we're going to get one more sell-off before we get into the seasonal strength, which we're in now, actually March and into April. We also want to watch the API numbers today after the close, and then the Department of Energy numbers that come out at 10:30 tomorrow, Wednesday morning at 10:30 Eastern time, to see what kind of builds we get. Now, we will get a max peak build, And I think from there you'll start seeing draws, and I think you'll see the crude oil start to rally again. Okay, but I do think we see one more big sell off here in crude oil. Diamonds, you could see that same thing. We had these bearish rising wedges. Just kind of adjusted them. You can see they're still here. Again, we did break above the 200-day moving average, so that is a bullish sign. And also, this bearish rising wedge is only bearish if we break out and take down this little area here. Obviously, the lower trend line area of support. Okay. And lastly is the Qs. Technology did well yesterday. Actually, the Qs did really, really well. And let me just grab this out of the way, and I just want to show you what I was looking at. A little bit more defined on the futures, but you could see here we have a real nice bull flag, and we broke out of that bull flag. The future chart on the daily looks much more pronounced, but you could see really no movement here. You could see that, and let me open that up. You could see what I'm saying here. These little tiny spinning tops, these little dojis. But again, we did break out on Friday, Monday. We had a little bit of follow through, but again, capping that 200-day moving average. That's what's making it difficult here to trade the Qs if you're looking to trade them. So, use caution. Definitely place your stops. Keep your stops in place. And again, we still are within this bearish rising wedge. But again, only bearish when it breaks. So let's see if we can get some downside momentum. And remember, again, seasonality trends this week, quadruple witching usually is very bullish, and then next week turns bearish. So just keep that in mind. Not saying to follow everything, but just keep that in mind as well if we do see some weakness today. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.